Located on Queensland's Sunshine Coast, NAQED are transforming the botanical industry in Australia by unlocking the full potential of every seed, leaf and root of plant medicine. Combining advanced science with sustainable practices, NAQED delivers unmatched bioactive yields by not just growing plants, but by cultivating the future of health and wellness. In order to sustainably produce the most safest and potent plant medicines in the world, NAQED's circular system starts with development of new plant varieties with superior bioactive profiles. Next, tissue culture techniques are carried out to enable rapid upscaling, ensuring disease-free, genetically consistent and bio-rich plants. These plants are then grown using techniques to maximise bioactive yield, enhance soil health, promote biodiversity, and reduce environmental impact. This then results in products with unmatched potency and purity.
Basically what we're doing is creating a mass clonal propagation model, and we can start either with a little seed. I don't know if you can see that. Right? This is something we're really excited about, but I cannot disclose this at the moment. And then gradually, these seeds become sometimes unsuccessful clusters of callus, right? So this is something we want, but it went too far. And sometimes when we do the right thing, they start to become little plants where we instigate both the foliage growth and the root growth, and resulting in something. This is specifically what we produce. So these are turmeric plants that we selected the variety, we selected the right plant. That right plant got into a callus format, then grown into a plantlet format, and this one later be deflossed in the greenhouse into tubes that can be planted in the field. And what you see here is basically a biological living library of not only amazing specimens that we can propagate and grow, but also if we look at this section here, Chelsea, how many plants do you think we have here? Would be about...
there'd be about 30 per jar.
So yeah, so this would be about like 3,000 plants just in this tiny section. Basically, we go from a lab into nursery level, and then that is being planted. And again, the plants might not look the most amazing, is going into full senescence. And we will show then in a second the harvest of that specific plant, which is an orange turmeric, which is one of the best, and how NAQED has achieved the highest bioactive content in the world, and how we then take those rhizomes and experiment and use the CD8 Cryo dry for rapid prototyping and many other exciting experiments. When we go from our tissue culture and all the other plantlets that you saw in the living lab, then this goes into nursery setting that grows it out into a plug. That goes into the field. And after the season, like now we're in winter, it is harvest ready. So we get these beautiful rhizomes and fingers. So this is our fantastic orange turmeric. Let me wipe out the main skin. You see some of the best quality, right, that a turmeric plant can offer. Now, when we have something like this, and we mentioned that we have the best bioactivity in the world, the question is, how do we achieve it, right? And it's not that we have a magical silver bullet. We try to do every step right. So again, tissue culture, select the optimal variety, but also select an optimal plant because we clone the plant. Do the right thing with deflosking and an optimal substrate and nutrients for the plant to maximize the bioactive content. What we're also experimenting with, and this is a bit science meets magic, and I call it fairy dust. We apply things that we call elicitors, all natural, like be it plant hormones or things like an actual fairy dust like silver nanoparticles that some plants react to, and this elucidates the production of more secondary bioactives than in a normal setting. And then finally, the agronomical practices we see, one of the things we really focus on are things like density trials and other factors to create a certain level of healthy stress. What do we mean by healthy stress? Is basically stress that will not deteriorate the plant, but will create enough stress to help induce more orange, more bioactive, more curcuminoids, because that's what we're after. So while people maybe have factories, we work with biochemical factories, the natural biochemical factories that are plants. And we take them not only very seriously, but we try to use their inherent skills and genetics, but also elucidation methods to come to the best outcome possible. When we started to look at freeze drying as a concept, we always evaluate things, as I mentioned prior on several occasions, in terms of scalability. And one of the first things was to process a large quantity of material. I think we started with half a ton or even 1 ton of wet material. And for us at that point in time, that was very valuable to understand the larger scale effect on this type of technology. But as we progressed and learned more and wanted to explore further, this became untenable, right? In terms of cost, and again, I talked about rapid prototyping, rapid new product development, rapid innovation. There was nothing rapid about it, right? In terms of getting the source material to the cost linked to the large-scale drying, or being dependent on third parties that are maybe universities or government entities who I know might not always have the newest equipment. And again, the reliability and the speed was not there. So having the ability as a chief innovation officer to have a machine in-house that can allow all of that was literally, to be honest, we're still scratching the surface of what we can do with it, because the opportunities are legion. And I think the way NAQED has been designed and structured is we are first and foremost an innovation business, an innovation company. Obviously, we're trying to market the outcome of that innovation, but the full and the core value of NAQED, in my opinion, and I might be definitely biased because I am the Chief Innovation Officer, is really how to build that innovation in the most elegant and fast way. And I think that's where the Cryo Dry is an amazing tool for us, because again, while it has 5 trays, it allows us to dry even multiple related materials. We looked at turmeric, we also have black turmeric, we have ginger and other galangal species that would fit in the same type of model where I don't even need to fill all of that. This allows me, for example, to dry 5 plant materials or 5 different permutations in one go and do a lot of testing to understand and learn insights that we can then translate into either a commercial head start or an operational one. Again, we didn't really have problems beginning, because in the beginning it was about scalability verification. But once you start questioning about, well, let's do some research, then the Cryo Dry became indispensable. For us to have a plug-and-play type of solution, within the reason and limits, and support and ability to use programs that are preset, but allowing that sort of pre-programming approach for 5, 6 different plant types or slurries or powders or whatever you like, creates a very, again, convenient, fast and easy approach to something that used to be a little bit more, quite more technical and complicated, require much more sort of lab technicians working on it, a lot of higher fail rates because of that. I don't know if people remember the glass domes with the clasps, to create the vacuum, versus, I always describe it, a flashy microwave for freeze drying. You press a button, obviously you need to pre-program it and so on, but that convenience and ease of use, and obviously people need to outweigh the cost. We find it relatively accessible, is something that again leapfrogs anyone who wants to use it. But as every instrument, it's a magnificent instrument. So the more you use it and the more you invest in sort of elegant scientific design, the more you will get out of it. We had to evaluate many variables, compare everything that's on the market, and to the best of our knowledge, this is probably the best solutions out there. Again, if you value convenience, efficiency, speed, and a little bit of elegance and agility, I mean, there is nothing better out there. So the Cryo Dry is definitely to be recommended. It's always about what you need, and if you do need this type of innovative approach and usage, then I don't think there's a better solution. Final note, and this is just a pure interesting thing. If we say that our plant material, right, is the best in the world, has 12% bioactivity compared to 3%, that means in terms of energy use, carbon efficiency, also in terms of plant efficiency and sort of respect for the soil and the planet, we basically do with 4 times less than in the traditional type of approach. And this is something we're also very proud and I guess inherently linked to, is that we don't necessarily have to sell it as such, but the outcomes are also very beneficial for the planet, the carbon footprint and so on. And it's a fantastic positive externality to have that I think we should talk even more about.